politicians. When politics is bereft of ideology, then things like this, of course, would rear their ugly heads. Particularly in Nigeria, we have seen that the tendency for opposition parties to capitulate under the pressure, the manipulative pressure of the ruling party is very, very rife. We are seeing that here. A lot of people are decamping from their party, going into the ruling party, and it's just the same game, the same old game. So I think this has played majorly on the inability of the opposite parties to form a formidable opposition group. You know, is essentially because they are not governed by ideology. Again, perhaps I should adopt what my noble prof said concerning elections and the electoral bodies across Black Africa.
Yeah.
The malaise in Africa has been the inability of our electoral bodies to move away from manipulations by political parties. The Ghana example has shown to us that it is possible, we can do it. But if we have to do it, then we have to go back to the books.
Right.
So I think essentially these are some of the problems besetting the rise of Africa from where it currently is.
All right, so let's quickly take a commercial break. When we get back, we'll be switching gears to our guest Edmond Obeware, who joins us virtually this morning to talk about his experience after being convicted for the October 1 Independence Day 2010 bombing. He's also going to be speaking on issues relating to the amnesty program in the Niger Delta region. All of that and more after this break. Do stay with us.
92 FM 94.9, filling the world with laughter.
Oríta bá ṣọ̀run Ìbàdàn, ìlera lọ́rọ̀ cooperative investment and credit society limited alájẹṣẹ́kù tó ń ṣe ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún gbogbo ènìyàn nípa ìlera wa ló ń sọ wípé ìlera lọ́rọ̀ o.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o, tó bá ń ṣòwò kan ìbàjò tó ń ṣòwò kan àárẹ̀ tá a wá nílò owó láti fi tọ́jú ara ẹni. Ọ̀pọ̀ yẹn tá ẹ̀sán ṣe tó ń padà já sí tọ́lọ́jọ́. Tọ́ra ìrówó tọ́jú àìsàn ni iléeṣẹ́ Yemax Aba. Àjọṣepọ̀ pẹ̀lú Oríta bá ṣọ̀run Ìbàdàn ìlera lọ́rọ̀ cooperative investment and credit society limited. Tó bá ṣẹ́gun tẹ̀ ìjọba lóní tá a bá lówó lálájẹṣẹ́kù cooperative yìí. Àgbẹ́kẹ̀lé ni o. A fẹ́ sanwó ilé ìwé ọmọ. Bàbá ní bùkátà tó súyọ láìrò tẹ́lẹ̀. Ìrànlọ́wọ́ ojú ẹsẹ̀. Àǹfààní láti yáwó tá a lè máa dá padà díẹ̀díẹ̀ lélẹ́yìí. Àwọn tó bá tún máa fowó wọn dókòwò pẹ̀lú wa ìdámẹ́wàá ni wọ́n máa gbà lórí owó wọn. Ó jẹ́ kọ́sítọ́mà ó jẹ́ kọ́sítọ́mà. Àǹfààní yìí wà fún gbogbo èèyàn ní. Ẹ tara ṣàṣà máa bọ̀ lọ́fíìsì wa block B shop 37 and 38 Islamic shopping complex Basọ̀run Ìbàdàn. Telephone 070-716-88889 tàbí 070-16-707-783.
Guys, let's go and get seats at that table with Semovita.
Sorry, this table is reserved for the bride's family.
Do you know who I am? I'm the older brother of the sister's last uncle who married their first cousin.
Everybody wants a seat at the Golden Penny Semovita table. Golden Penny Semovita remains my soup's first choice. It's made from premium wheat and fortified with vitamins and minerals to provide a wholesome bowl food that pairs well with Nigerian soups. Golden Penny Semovita, my soup's first choice.
We share love, we share joy, we come with open hearts. Oh, so celebrate, jubilate, share the plate, just follow the aroma. 'Tis the season to show some love.
Ẹ̀yin èwe ẹ kú àmójúbà bàbá kérésì sí ìkànnì 32 FM 94.9.
ẹ máa bọ̀ wá pàdé rẹ̀ kíkàbọ̀. ìkànnì 32 FM 94.9 pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ Riders Amusement Park ló ń kí gbogbo òbí wípé ẹ máa káwọn ọmọ yín bọ̀ ní kẹ̀tíkẹ̀tí láti wá gba àwọn ẹ̀bùn tó jọjú ní gbèsè lọ́dọ̀ bàbá kérésì tí kò ní 32 FM 94.9 tó wà ní Games Area Palms Mall Ring Road Ìbàdàn ní kẹ́ ẹ máa káwọn ọmọ yín bọ̀ láti wá dọ̀wọ́ ìdùnnú àtàwọn ẹ̀bùn rabandẹ bọ́ọ̀kú abọ́gini ẹgbẹ̀rún mẹ́rin náírà péré lọ́mọ kan. bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn ọmọ yín yóò tó láǹfààní àti fa àwọn ohun ìgbàlódé ṣeré ìdárayá dọ́wẹ́kẹ̀ mára jí pépé lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fẹ́ ṣagbátẹrù pẹ̀lú ìkànnì 32 FM 94.9 yálà ilé ẹ̀kọ́ lẹ̀ rí jẹ́ tàbí ilé ìjọsìn ẹ̀lú sùnbọ̀rẹ́ 0704-174-981 tàbí bọ́láńlé 08100672518 látọjọ́ ajé sójú àbámẹ́ta ní kẹ́ ẹ ti máa káwọn ọmọ yín wá ní kẹ̀tíkẹ̀tí aago 10 òwúrọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ní kí wọ́n máa dé sí gbọ̀ngàn bàbá kérésì lọ́jọ́ sátidé lọ́jọ́ ìsinmi láago 12 ọ̀sán bàbá kérésì kọ́ni 32 FM 94.9 yóò balẹ̀ bàbí bẹ̀rẹ̀ látọjọ́ kìíní sọ́jọ́ kẹrìnlélógún oṣù kejìlá ọdún 2024 December 1st to 24th 2024 ẹ má gbàgbé wípé ètò Laughter Santa yóò máa tẹ̀ ẹwájú gorí afẹ́fẹ́ látọjọ́ ajé sọ́jọ́ ẹtì láago 4 kọjá ogún ìṣẹ́jú sáago 5 ìrọ̀lẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lẹ́tọ̀ máa jẹ̀gbádùn ètò ọ̀hún lọ́jọ́ sátidé sọ́jọ́ ìsinmi látàgò 5 ìrọ̀lẹ́ sáago 6 ìrọ̀lẹ́ gbẹ̀rẹ́ bàbá kérésì kọ́ni 32 FM tọdún ní máa lárinrin yàtọ̀.
My kids love tasty snacks, but many snacks are not so good for them. That's why I love the new Milo Anna snacks.
We love it, Mom.
Yes, it's a delicious snack with the goodness of malt, milk, cocoa, and crunchy Niger-grown maize containing calcium, iron, and fiber.
So, pack Milo and snacks in their lunchbox every day to help your kids refuel at break time and keep winning all day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! When you think of Rex Insurance, think of the resilience of overturning a 4-0 scoreline in injury time. Think of the integrity of frying a bunch of soft golden plantain without tasting any.
Femi, you have tasted more than half of the plantain on the fire.
Think of the efficiency of making a sumptuous plate of afang with just 3,025 naira.
Customer, now 220 naira remain for my hand. I beg, give me periwinkle.
At Rex Insurance, our values of resilience, efficiency, excellence, integrity, and teamwork have remained unwavering since 1918. No matter your business, agriculture, aviation, engineering, general accident, energy, motor and marine, our values and prompt claims payment are your assurance of our commitment to you. Rex Insurance, you're not alone.
I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop and is it to stir?
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
Gbálẹ̀ ní bàbá wọ́sẹ̀ awífún ni kó tó dání kì í ṣẹgbẹ́ ẹni tó sangun onírúurú àrà láti dá lórí ìkànnì 32 FM tí ṣayé ní àhín gbogbo àwọn ìgbàlódé náwó ẹ̀fọ́ nítorí pé àwọn tí wọn ò dó mú 32 FM 94.9 tún gbọ́dọ̀ ìbùdó yọ èyí tún bá wọn lójijì.
ìlú lẹ́gbọ́ tèmi ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ wọ́n mi.
àkọ́tún Laughterfest tí a fi ń tẹ́pẹ́ pé àlùjọ múnú ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ dùn láti ìgbàdégbà tún ti ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́tẹ̀ yìí àlùjọ tún máa látọwọ́jú fami àti gbansala nígbà tí Paramount King of Fuji Alhaji Abbas Akande Obechiri ọmọlápàlàpà pátọ̀ síbẹ̀ bá ń fi sí wa lákìyẹmí ara kọ̀ǹgọ́ọ̀lù abojú àwọn takọ̀tàbọ̀ á sì tàdírẹ́kẹ̀ àkàìmọye àwọn ajánipọ̀sọ̀ ọdún ni yóò wà níkàlẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ kejì ọdún kérésì fún àlùjọ ọdún nínú gbàgede ti Rescue Service Theatre lẹ́kẹ̀ Salabi Stadium nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn lára wọn ni wòlíì àgbà remote MC package MC Imperial MC Obama MC Captain àti àwọn ìràwọ̀ tá ìgbọ́tẹ̀ ìgbádùn lórí ìkànnì ajánipọ̀sọ̀ ọdún 32 FM 94.9 live band pẹ̀lú mi MP3 yóò wà ní standard lọ́jọ́ náà lọ́hùn tó fi mọ́ fabulous PC ọ̀fẹ́ lówó ìwọlé torí pé aníkádùn yìí nínú gẹ́gẹ́ bí orúkọ wa ni àwọn alágbàtẹrù ni Pernod Ricard àti Zenith Real Estate pẹ̀lú ìrànlọ́wọ́ bọ́ọ̀bùlẹ̀tì everruby sheet àríyá ọjọ́ kejì kérésì ìta pè ní Laughterfest pẹ̀lú 32 FM lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ síbẹ̀ lórí 32 FM kí eke gbogbo rédíò lọ́rùn pẹ̀lú yìí.
ìlera lọ́rọ̀ yemax aba lóní ká má fi ìlera ara wa ṣeré o àkànṣe egbògi ń bẹ lọ́dọ̀ wọn tó ṣe é kojú àìsàn gbogbo àwọn tó ń lọ sọ́dọ̀ wọn ló ń jẹ́rìí sí pé wọ́n kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀.
yemax aba ní làmìlaka gbajúgbajà ìṣègùn ìbílẹ̀ tó ń mewémego tó ń ṣàkóso gbòógì tó ṣe é kojú àìsàn àtàrùn lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀ kan ọkùnrin tí ò lè ṣe déédéé ṣe ṣàkọni lọ́dọ̀ obìnrin nínú ilé onírúurú àìsàn tó lè máa dààmú tọkùnrin tóbìnrin lágọ̀ọ́ ara àyẹ̀wò ni wọ́n kọ́ ṣe fún ẹ ní yemax aba pẹ̀lú ẹ̀rọ ìgbàlódé tí ó sọ gangan bí táwọn àbá ìsàn olùkọ́sí lágọ̀ọ́ ara rẹ̀ tó ń fa kùdìẹ̀kùdìẹ̀ ìyẹn ni ó fi hàn wọ́n irú oògùn gangan tó yẹ kí wọ́n fún ọ láti lò má bora rẹ mọ́lé má bora rẹ pa ìlera lọ́rọ̀ tara ṣàṣà kàn sí yemax aba fún ìtọ́jú tó péye èèyàn ogun tó bá kọ́kọ́ délé iṣẹ́ wọn báyìí ni wọ́n ṣe àyẹ̀wò fún lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. yemax aba wà ní block b shop 37 and 38 islamic shopping complex Basọ̀run Ìbàdàn. telephone 070-716-88889 tàbí 070-16-707-783. ìlera lọ́rọ̀ lóòótọ́ ẹgbà bẹ́ẹ̀.
We fill the world with laughter. We are 32 FM 94.9.
Just because you do not take an interest in politics doesn't mean politics won't take an interest in you.
The funds spent were properly spent because we got them from intervention funds.
Only you waka come. There is God.
I don't know which party my wife belongs to, but she belongs to my kitchen and my living room and the other room.
Stay in tune with politics on 32 FM 94.9.
Welcome back. The Podium on 32 FM 94.9. My name is OLORUNTOBA YUSUF. Remember, we're live on Facebook, 32 FM 949 FM. Drop your comment, like, and share the video. As I mentioned before that break, I will be joined this morning by Comrade Edmond Biware. I was, convicted for the October 1, 2010 Independence Day bombing. He was convicted as one of the alleged masterminds. He was sentenced to a life imprisonment by the Federal High Court in Abuja with effect from October 3rd, 2010. But he spent a couple of years behind bars. Now he's been released. The trial judge at the time, Justice 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐿, sentenced Biware after he was found guilty on the entire 3-count charge preferred against him by the government. In that verdict, the judge ruled that he had prior knowledge that the convicted erstwhile leader of the movement for emancipation of Niger Delta men, Henry Oka, planned to detonate bombs in Abuja during the Independence Day 2010, but made no effort to report the plant to appropriate authorities. Let me welcome you once again, Comrade Edmond Biware. Good morning. Thank you for joining us again.
Good morning.
Yes. Okay. I mean, I know that you were a young man, perhaps in your mid-30s at the time of the conviction. It's been a long time down the line that you spent behind bars. Give us a picture of what your experience was like the moment the verdict was given and, your experience within the correctional service system.
Okay, I was 35 years old.
Wow.
A few days to my 35th year birthday, I was arrested on the 3rd of October 2010. So I was taken to the underground DSS facility, 20 feet deep. I spent 3 months there amidst torture, different forms of torture, electrical chair, torture, guns on my head. They hung me upside down. So many kind of traumatic experience I had then. I was in solitary. So after then, I was now transferred to the Kuje prison, December 24th. Around this period, I was transferred to Kuje prison after spending 3 months at the DSS facility. The Kuje prison, they took me to solitary confinement, where they call the bomb blast offenders or something like that. They took me to that place in a solitary confinement situation. I was held there for 5 years. I was locked up inside a toilet space room. I was locked up there, no mattress on the floor. I was sleeping on the bare floor for 5 years. I stayed there. The visit is just 2 minutes. So the only person that could visit me, just my wife that was visiting me. So nobody was allowed to visit me. I spent 5 years in that situation. Then when President Buhari took over power, when he was voted in, they now allowed me to come out of my cell to mingle around with other prisoners for 30 minutes. So that no more solitary. People were able to visit me, go back, spend five minutes. So many things happened. One other person that was also accused of the bombing incident died in that process because he was unable to, I don't know. It was too difficult for us. So he gave up the ghost. Bokos
Comrade Edmond, it must have really been traumatic for you. But I recall that when the judge was reading the verdict on that day, he said that the prosecution were able to establish that you were in contact and you had, pre-knowledge sort of that incident on the 1st of October. So let me ask you, what was your relationship like with Henry Oka, who was later convicted as a mastermind of that bombing? What was your relationship like? Were you in contact with him at the time? Did you have pre-knowledge as established by the court?
Okay, what happened? We started this amnesty arrangement, 2007. We started that process before the proclamation by the former president, later Yar'Adua, in 2009. So I headed two militant camps in Delta State where I sensitized the militants. So in that vein now, Henry Oka now called me to discuss. So people are, you are embracing amnesty. How is it like? That kind of a thing. So I was also trying to convince him to support the government in the amnesty. Okay. So that process, one way or the other, we were discussing on that piece, trying to bring him to the round table. So many people, some government officials, I even introduced this to the former Minister for Petroleum, Dezani Madueke, where she wanted him to, work together for the peace. So I connected both of them to discuss. So if I was doing something that was illegal, why people like that will call my attention to see how the men under Henry Oka come together, to strengthen the peace. So we were not doing, I've not even seen Henry Oka one-on-one. We've not met before in life. Until this point in time, I've not met him. you understand? So, yes. So coming up with an accusation that I had a prior knowledge. Why would somebody that have not met you before now tell you about something sensitive as a bomb issue? It's not possible. Even the elementary knowledge will tell you it's not possible. So, I was framed up. It's a case of frame up. There was nothing like an evidence that anybody told me.
You were a victim then? That's what you're saying? You were a victim of...
I was a victim of frame up, yeah. No evidence. They had no evidence. So, okay, look, I was charged with, this was a charge, accessory to treason. I was not charged with accessory to terrorism, the bomb popper. I was charged as an accessory to treason. This is the mistake people don't know. So that treason was not established at the end. Even the same judge that jailed me initially in 2013, without any evidence that Henry Oka told me anything about bomb, the same judge quashed that charge of treason on other people that were charged that treason, Charles Soka and Co. They quashed the charge of 2017, June. So they have already jailed me as an accessory to that treason. So now how will I be an accessory to nothing? So it became a complicated case because lies can never hold waters for long. That was what happened. Right. So it became a complicated case. Yeah.
So you said you were a victim and you didn't have any prior knowledge of the bombing. So what was your first reaction when you saw on the news what played out on that day, 1st of October, before you were eventually arrested? What was your first reaction, hearing that it came from MEND, an organization that you were working with, as you said, to ensure that there was peace in the Niger Delta?
Yeah, I was on my way. I was coming back from Emma Plaza at Abuja, where I went to buy this green jersey for my mom. I invited my mom all the way from Bayelsa State to witness the Independence Day because she was at the race course in 1960. So I said, "Mom, this 50th day, the 50th anniversary, come and witness it." So as I was coming around Bega, if you know Abuja, if you are conversant with Abuja, I heard this bomb. Somebody called me and said, "Look at what is happening." And I was about going there. So I was shocked. So as I got home, I started seeing, on the news, this is happening. After some time, they arrested somebody. They arrested Henry Oka in South Africa. I never knew I would be the next person to be arrested. Honestly, they arrested me on the 3rd. Nobody knew they were tapping my lines and they were following me up. They arrested me just like that. So I was just on my own. I was not running because somebody that is innocent of something fears no accusation. I was just free on my own. I was arrested. So I believed in the judiciary of Nigeria then. I never knew, in fact, we have a problem with our judiciary.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what were the problems you noticed? Because from what you've narrated, you said you're a victim of a frame up, and it also looks like you feel you're a victim of the challenges in our judiciary. What were the challenges you noticed at the time you were being tried and then you were convicted as well before you were sent to prison?
The challenges. People that were supposed to come and witness for me to say this person never did this, they were not allowed to stand as a witness for me. They were threatened.
Who threatened them?
Some of them are even in the government. Yeah.
Who threatened them? Who?
Man, I don't need to start calling them. The people that persecuted me. The DSS at that time. Yeah. That was what happened. I was alone. I never had any witness. And the judge I told the judge that they don't want to come because they don't want my people to come and witness for me. They were threatened. That was what happened. I was just alone. I was taken and I was convicted just like that.
All right.
I spent 14 years in jail. Let it be noted. I spent 14 years in jail.
14 years.
Yeah, because I spent another 3 years in Kuje prison, making it 8 years in Kuje prison. Then I was transferred to a prison in Sokoto. They call that prison a punishment prison. I spent 2 years there in Sokoto. Then 2 years again in Katsina prison. Another 2 years in Kaduna prison before President Buhari now granted me a pardon, clemency.
Okay, let me go to one of our panelists now. Let me start with Barrister. I mean, listening to Comrade Edmond Obiwari, a lot of questions will run through your mind regarding the judiciary, the process of trying an accused person, and also convicting someone as well, especially for what will be considered a high-profile allegation of treason or bomb blast, which every country does not take lightly. So, before you ask him your question, I'd like to get your position on some of the issues you raised about judiciary, how he was treated in detention, and the issues of his witness being threatened by those who were prosecuting him. Barrister. Hello, Barrister.
Yes, Toba, thank you very much. Well, I am not surprised. As you know, today the judiciary is on the radar on several allegations of misdeeds, corruption, manipulation, and what have you. So it is no longer news. As a matter of fact, the judiciary in Nigeria has waned so much that today Nigerians no longer view the judiciary as the last hope of the common man. And that is threatening because the survival of our democracy rests on a virile judiciary. But having said that, I think for a man who has had first-hand experience, let me go to our wonderful guest to hear his experience, of the judiciary. Now, my brother.
Yes.
In your response to an earlier question, you impugned the integrity of the judiciary. And like I said, today, the judiciary is back on the radar on allegations of misdeeds, corruption, manipulation, and what have you. Can you tell us your own impression of the Nigerian judiciary?
Okay. You see, as a first time I experienced it, I witnessed everything. I'm the man at the middle, at a point. Nigerian judiciary is a bane to the nation. Nigerian judiciary is supposed to be where the common man will say, yes, this is where we have a succor. But Nigerian judiciary is for the highest bidder, and Nigerian judiciary is being controlled. It is not independent. That's what I have to say. It is not independent.
Okay, let me go to Prof now. Yes, Prof. Hello, Prof. Prof, are you with us? Oh, it appears Prof is not with us.
I'm
okay,
here.
all right.
Here.
Yes, go ahead, Prof.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised that that is his first encounter with the judiciary, and no one thought that that should be a very important factor to take into consideration when all of those charges were being preferred, which suggests that he might be right in saying that he was framed up. My concern is really to ask him how that has affected, one, his faith in the country, Nigeria, and what does he think is the way forward in addressing the Niger Delta question, given the fact that we cannot go to sleep to assume that the issue has been resolved.
Okay. Come in.
Right.
Okay. You see, the judiciary, to a great extent, we need to review certain things. Honestly, we need a kind of overhauling, because what is there, the common man don't have confidence, will not have the kind of justice they deserve. What happened to me can happen to anybody. Maybe people will not even see it this way because it is not happening to them. We don't need to be affected by this before we come to the round table. We don't have a judiciary for the common man in Nigeria. That is just, let me put it simple as that. I don't know if I've answered you.
Yeah, and he says, how has it affected your faith in the system, as an individual, having experienced that? That's the other question he asked you.
Okay, my faith in
the Nigerian system. No, in the Nigerian system.
The Nigerian system.
Yes.
Oh, see, because we cannot let it lie that way. We cannot go away from we cannot leave our country. We must be here to make this work.
Okay.
Even though we don't have faith, we'll keep on talking, we'll keep on working to make it work. I have faith in Nigeria. I will have faith in Nigeria. Even though some persons in the judiciary make us to believe that there's no judiciary, there's no justice, we still have faith in Nigeria. I think we keep on pushing for things to work out.
Okay, and then the other question, before you answer that, he asked you about the Niger Delta, how to address the problems there. I'll let you get to that in a moment. I just want to quickly ask you this. Recently, we've seen series of allegations about how the correctional system operates. There are stories about how some individuals are given preferential treatment, how inmates are subjected to inhumane conditions. I think you highlighted that when you gave us your account of how you were held in a solitary confinement. So did you experience any of such firsthand, where people are allegedly sold a particular kind of cell or allowed to go and serve their sentence in a special place outside of the prison service? These are some of the issues that have come up. So if someone that has spent 14 years within the system, did you see any of these things? What were the things you noticed about our correctional service system?
As an activist, while I was in jail, I did more than just being in jail.
Okay.
I did my research. I interviewed people. Some persons have stayed in jail for 21 years. Some people they have been waiting for justice under ATM. They have been on ATM for more than 12 years. So you see, like, your stay in jail depends on who you are, your personality. Sometimes, but we have VIP cells.
Wow.
As you come up, we have VIP cells. I stayed in a VIP cell also. let me just say, I stayed in the VIP cell also. The VIP cell will be there. When they say VIP cell, doesn't mean there's a good mattress. So it's just a student mattress for you.
Okay.
Nothing different. Just that it is not congested. You know, it's not congested. You may be at the point you'll be the one to put the facilities all right. Not that there's a kind of VIP that is very conducive for somebody to even stay. Nothing like that. So, but they don't take people out to their houses to serve any jail sentence. That's, let me be fair with the correctional services. What they do, if you have health issues, they can take you to the clinic. You can stay in the clinic depending on your health issues, but definitely there are some unscrupulous elements that will, one way or the other, just delay you there because you have money to give to them. It happens. But say take you to your house, the kind of bottlenecks you will pass, people many people will be involved, and it is not possible. So it is not possible.
Okay, but you enjoyed, you stayed in the quote-unquote VIP cell where you was not so congested. Was that after you were moved to Kuje prison? And what did you do? Did you have to pay, for you to stay in that quote-unquote VIP cell? Did you have to pay?
I stayed in VIP cell in Katsina because when they took me to Katsina, it was a small 12 by 12 cell. I mean, let me say 14 by 14. Cell size, but we had 76 persons there.
76.
So 76 persons. Oh God! Inside 14 by 14 cell, the toilet is something you cannot even go to toilet. You can't go anywhere. So I started. I developed. I got infected. So because of that, my lawyer wrote to the prison service. They now called me out. I said, okay, they will take me to somewhere, but the place is not too conducive also. Maybe I will need to do. So when I saw the place, I gave them money to do some repair works. That was what I gave to them, not that they charged me.
Okay, let's go to the other question then that he asked you. The issue about the problem in the Niger Delta is something that a lot of people have continued to ask. That for many years, we're not. Some say they are not seeing the result of the money being spent there from the presidential amnesty program. Billions have been spent since it started. You also have the NDDC. There are allegations of corruption. How contracts are awarded. We also played out with former Senate President. The current Senate President, who was minister at the time of Niger Delta Affairs, 𝐃𝐈𝐒, appearing before the National Assembly. We saw the drama that played out when the issue of the NDDC came up. We also see some of the states getting very high allocations from the federal government, and ex-governors enmeshed in all kinds of corruption cases. So what do you think is at the heart of the problem in the Niger Delta? Because I know you are part of the people in the struggle. You are an activist, as you've mentioned. What do you think is at the heart of the problem, and how do you think we can address it, just in relation to what Prof asked you?
Yeah, as I came out, there were things we were talking about. I want to really thank this present government for making us to realize those things. The pipeline surveillance contracts.
Okay.
This pipeline surveillance contract has engaged many of our youths. They have engaged many of our youths, and they are taking people out of the streets. They are now working to protect our pipelines. So if you say, for instance, if you think about it, we talk about Tantita. Tantita has employed more than 50,000 youths, engaging them. So they are now busy doing something. It is something I applaud. You understand?
Yes.
They are now busy doing something. So it is an advancement to where we are going. The system right now has improved tremendously. What I saw after coming, as I came out of jail, things are working out better than it was.
Okay.
So I think gradually we'll get there. But you see one thing, they need to engage more hands. They need to engage more people in this pipeline surveillance. We need, because that pipeline surveillance, it is really helping our against oil theft, and vandalism and all the rest going on in our creeks those days. For now, it is coming down. So I think they need to improve on that. Okay. It's very important. It's a key to peace in Niger Delta.
Okay, well, what about the other ones I mentioned? Because, aside the oil thefts that you mentioned, there are also allegations of, corruption in the money allocated to that region, how the NDDC operates, how state governors, spend funds allocated to them, how some of these host communities as well, whether or not the funds given to them are used for the needs of the people. These are issues that have come up, within the Niger Delta region. So to what extent do you think corruption play a role in dragging the region back and preventing it from developing as it should, being the so to speak heartbeat of the nation?
Yes, the problem we are having, actually, we have this partisan political taking sides, you understand. At the point, people are not taking it as something we need to work collectively. They politicize things. When they politicize things, development, it affects development. So right now, for instance, the NDDC, the person there is working. What they are doing, like they're lighting up Niger Delta, they are working. But when people, some persons are trying to sabotage because they belong to another different political party, it becomes a problem. So these are the challenges some of our leaders are facing. So it is left for them to see development as a key why they are there. It's not politics. After the political brouhaha is over, it is time to work. No, it has really bedeviled our development in Niger Delta, and right now it is still working against us. Politics.
Okay.
Politics.
Yeah,
we must give somebody that belongs to our political party. We shouldn't be that way.
Okay, the presidential amnesty program, as you said, you were part of the group in 2007 working to ensure that the people lay down their arms and work with the government for this to happen. I also remember, I served in Bayelsa, by the way. I remember how some of these ex-militants used to come to the place I was working then, the bank I was working then, to come withdraw their presidential amnesty program stipend. There were those who were arguing at the time that, giving monthly stipends to these ex-agitators is not sustainable. And presently, some activists have even said that the presidency should reconsider the amnesty program. Some say it should be scrapped because it's not addressing the issues within that region. What's your assessment of the presidential amnesty program from when it started up till now? And do you think it's addressing the issues? Perhaps should it be restructured or rejigged by the presidency a little? Or should it be scrapped as some people have advocated?
From the inception of the amnesty, from the days of 𝐃𝐈𝐒 to 𝐾𝐈𝐒, we've not had a better person than Dr. Dennis Otuaro. He's a product of the struggle. He's an experienced person. That the amnesty right now, anybody that is complaining, it's because it's not business as usual anymore. People are getting their stipends directly. Most times the leaders they circumvent their followers, their boys. So it has been a problem. So but now they are reaching out to them directly. So you see, some people are formed a kind of cartel, working against the system because it is not business as usual. So they resorted in blackmailing. But let me tell you something. What is happening right now? The present leadership, they have engaged stakeholders. They have engaged those people that worked for the amnesty. They are engaging them. So the amnesty program is going on perfectly. We even want the government to add more funds to it. If the budget allocation, the budgetary, the estimates and all the rest are not really commensurating with what they need to do, the government need to raise more funds for it. Okay. Right now, the amnesty program we are experiencing is the best so far.
All right.
Let me tell you.
Let me go to
I've not, honestly speaking,
yes.
They blacklisted me from the old system right now. Till this point in time, I'm not receiving anything from it. But let me tell you something. Let me be fair. The person we have there, that person knows his job.
Okay. Let me go to Barrister. Barrister?
Yes. Thank you very much, Toba. Now, our guest, Around the time of the alleged crime for which you were convicted, there were lunatic fringes that embraced terrorism, for instance, bombings, as a means of expressing their grievances. Nigerians were miffed, seeing gory pictures of dismembered bodies of innocent Nigerian victims and many deaths arising from the unorthodox approach to championing a cause or registering a perceived grievance. As an activist, what is your position on such approaches to registering grievances? Do you, for instance, see merit in the approaches of IPOB?
Can I come in?
Yes, please.
I was at Kuje prison when Nnamdi Kanu came, and we stayed together in the same custody. We stayed together, we ate together, we spent time together. So we were discussing all these things. You see, let us be fair to ourselves. Violence can never take us anywhere in Nigeria. Violence. It is better we go on a peaceful application of our grievances. Even though it takes time, it is better for us to be alive to see how to realize our struggle. Violence can never take us anywhere. We're already facing a problem of judiciary. How do you think a violent approach will solve the problem? It's not possible. This is something we discussed. And honestly, he agreed. But no, he left me while I was in jail. The rest is history. I don't know what happened. You understand? So that gentleman is somebody I respect so much. I loved him, But you see, one cannot really dictate to them their approach. But all I know, violence cannot take us anywhere. Because by the time you start with violence, some criminals will be involved. And they will not take it to their advantage. Already, this is what they have been into. So they will take advantage of it. And so the whole objective will be defeated. So I can never subscribe to violence.
Right.
But we can handle so many of these things peacefully.
But in the early days of the struggle in the Niger Delta, all kinds of approaches were used. We heard stories of oil installations being picketed, kidnapping of oil workers and all of those things to actually get the attention of the government. Some would argue that it was that approach that was threatening the supply of crude oil that got the attention of the government to bring you to the table and ask you to lay down your arms and accept that amnesty. That if you had gone the route of dialogue, things might not have easily worked out with the government. So what do you make of that argument, especially with the early approach that was employed by the activists in the early days of that struggle in the Niger Delta?
Yeah, you understand. Let me tell you something. The Niger Delta struggle is a kind of different one, because what we did there was attacking installations, not human beings. You understand? Yes. Not human beings. Once human blood is taken, it's very difficult for peace to come to pass and development. We were attacking installations, drawing the attention of the international, the global community, and the federal government. But we were not attacking individuals. But by the time why we accepted the amnesty, some persons now started bringing piracy into it, taking advantage of what we were doing. So we now said, since we cannot make a differences, and they have now come to defame what we are doing, the struggle, let us accept the amnesty. So if one has to do a violent approach, it should not be on human beings. Because innocent people will suffer.
Okay.
Just imagine, the innocent people, they are not part of the government. You can never see a government man in your creek. You cannot see them moving. And you are attacking people, causing mayhem on innocent souls. So it can never be, that was not our approach in Niger Delta.
So
when this violence, this piracy started, that was when we now resolved to accept the amnesty for everything to work out calmly.
Okay, so those who were, because there were stories of kidnappings of expatriates and oil workers, in that region. So those who were doing that were not part of the struggle. Were those who took advantage of it, just like those who were doing piracy took advantage of it as well.
Yeah, that kidnapping that was happening.
Yes.
We cannot say it was not part of our agenda.
Strategy, okay.
The kidnapping, we took care of those people we kidnapped. We did not kill them. We took care of them. We were even telling them that we are doing this thing to draw global attention. We are not doing this thing against you as a person. You understand? And it worked. Nobody killed anybody. Nobody dug any burial ground for people to, bury people, the poor masses and all the rest. Those were key people that were held hostage to attract global attention, and it worked.
Okay, so I mean, when you listen to, for someone that's been in the struggle against the Nigerian state before you accepted the amnesty, there have been arguments. I mean, I've heard Sheikh Gumi, I'm sure you know him, the popular Islamic cleric, talk about the possibility of exploring the amnesty option to resolve the banditry and the terrorism issue in the northern part of the country. There was even a time he made reference, he tried to make a comparison between that issue in the north and the struggle in the Niger Delta. For someone who's been in that struggle, is that a valid argument to make, that if you can grant amnesty to those who attacked oil installation and kidnapped oil workers, why can't you also explore that option, since our goal is to ensure that there is peace eventually? Listen to those people who are, carrying out those acts in the north and grant them amnesty. Is that a valid argument to make?
On one hand, you will say a valid argument, depends on where you look at it from. Because what is their objective? What is their struggle all about? Their struggle, they have not come up with something tangible for people to understand why they are into banditry. So, but for peace to reign, if that would be the only way for peace to reign, I will support it.
Okay. Okay, yes. but does their strategy not negate what you mentioned earlier? Because there are people that have died as a result of this. People, have been kidnapped as well. Ransoms have been paid. Schools have been attacked. So when you draw the comparison, you said you didn't attack individuals. You just attacked installation, and you even took care of those who you held hostage at the time of your struggle. So does that not show that they have been violent, or is it fair again to draw that comparison with the Niger Delta struggle?
It's not fair. So we cannot draw a comparison. No, far from it. The government should go all out for them. If anyone desire to accept, that person should come on his own. But having a blanket, because these people are not organized. They don't have an objective. They are not organized. Ask them why they are into their banditry. It is just the robbery, kidnapping and all the rest they are into. Why are they fighting? They have not come out to tell people why they're fighting. That Sheikh Gumi, if he should meet them, address them, have an interface with them, let us know why they are fighting. We have not had it all this while. So it is different.
Some say maybe because they feel disenchanted with the Nigerian state, the problem of unemployment, the problem of poverty and all of those things, that they are just victim of the Nigerian state. That's why we cannot really blame them for taking up into crime and criminality.
Well, victims, we all have our problems in Nigerian state, but are we into kidnapping the poor men, the poor masses? Are we into robbing the poor masses, market women? Well, what they are doing is illogical. It is not something one can support. They are just barbaric about it. I mean, they cannot all go well. Right. It doesn't work that way. Right. We're all facing the problem.
All right. Let me go to Prof.
We're all facing the problem, yeah.
Let me go to Prof. Prof?
Yeah, thank you. I think I agree with Comrade Edmond that if we follow the path of these bandits and kidnappers as they currently behave, what we have in our hand is anarchy. In fact, the presence of these bandits owes to the inability of the government to govern virtual all spaces because of its weak security capacity. Otherwise, to carry on with that kind of lifestyle is a very dangerous and unacceptable behavior. In fact, in the United States, they call them the outlaws. We see that until the government is able to rein in such kind of behavior, Nigeria will continue to be viewed as a failing state. Let's come back again to the Nigerian challenge. Now we are talking about banditry, we are talking about all of this, yet we have in our hands a situation where the judiciary is in a situation of deep crisis. I think a recent survey by the MBS says that the judiciary is the most bribed institution in Nigeria as we speak. And one of the things that we think that the judiciary will help us prop up is the freedom of expression. Because yes, people can be accused of criminality, they go into banditry, but people should at least be able to express their grievance within the Nigerian state. Now we have a situation where under different guises, activists, protesters, and so on and so forth are arrested, jailed, including children. We saw how the government has reacted after the uproar against those children in Abuja court. Now we have a situation where somebody is ferried from Lagos to 𝐒𝐃𝐇 with the connivance of the police and so on and so forth. Do you really think that Nigeria is on the path of returning to the rule of law under this government? Is there, from your experience and your research that you have done, alternative pathways that you suggest to Nigeria in terms of going back to instituting the rule of law and ensuring that they would start building confidence in the Nigerian system?
Hello.
Yeah, comrade, did you get it? Yeah.
Our problem has been, how do we adhere strictly the rule of law? It has been a problem to us, and the onus lies in every one of us, the masses and the government. You see, the government presently should hop up. They should improve. When you talk about the judiciary, you talk about how they treat the common man. Things are difficult. When one is not having the dividends of democracy, the best they can do is to take the law into their hands. Well, unfortunately, even the judiciary out there is not doing what they are supposed to do for the masses. So you see, we are gradually getting close to a situation where there will be lawlessness, anarchy, as you rightly said. This government is a government. Some of us did not support the government, but the person in question is somebody that we can say is an activist. Is somebody that worked 1993 doing MQ had how we can get back this mandate and all the rest. He was a key. He knows these things. There's nothing you tell the president about Nigeria that he doesn't know. So most of us were happy to say, okay, no matter what, who we have there, the person we have there knows everything about Nigeria. But unfortunately, what we are seeing is not what we are expecting. That's just the truth. But we still have faith in him that is going to turn things around. So, but it should address issues as it comes. What is happening right now in Nigeria is not palatable at all. This is not what we expect. This is not what we expect. We are talking about Nigeria as a state. This is not the Nigeria we knew some 30 years, 20 years, under military government. This is not the Nigeria we knew, honestly. Sometimes when I listen to, echoes of the past, the 90s, I weep. I weep. This is not the country we had. Let us be very, very fair to ourselves. Saying this, it doesn't mean you are against the president. We are just saying what we need to do for the future of our country. Let us live a better Nigeria. Thank you.
And as you mentioned, you said so many people are disappointed because they are not seeing what they expected from the president, somebody that's been in the struggle, especially during the military regime as well. And there are those who are saying that he should even be the one to be upholding the rule of law, having worked with and seen people be victim of, oppression by the instrument of state. And under him now, there are, allegations of the country drifting to a one-party state, the critics of government allegedly being intimidated as well. So, I mean, are you surprised what you're seeing, given the fact that he was in the struggle, fought for democracy, and now some of these issues are coming up under him, allegations of critics being intimidated or being silenced by the government?
Yes. Because he's somebody that knows the length and breadth. How will I put it? He belongs to the streets. He belongs to the highbrow places. He belongs everywhere. This is somebody that's knowledgeable about Nigeria as a state. This is somebody that fought for democracy. Under the military, he fought for democracy. So he has passed through the situations many of us are passing through. So we expect the best from him. We still have faith in him. But he should address these issues as it comes. He should address these issues. Very, very important.
Right.
Because he has a name. He has a legacy. He has a name.
All right. You mentioned the fact that you had a meeting with Nnamdi Kanu when you were in prison. You had a conversation with him. The Southeast is also a very troubled region at the moment. Sit-at-home order, all kinds of insecurity and violence taking place there. And I also have said, look, you need to pursue a political solution to this. Nnamdi Kanu cannot continue to be held in detention and expect peace to reign in the southeastern part of the country. Some say there should be a political solution to all of this. I mean, from the Nnamdi Kanu that you met, although it was a long time ago, as you said, things have changed since he got out. There's been many updates regarding the case. Do you think political solution is what should be pursued to address the issue in the southeast? That's another very troubled area of the country.
It's a political issue, so it deserves a political solution straight up. It's political. It deserves a political solution.
Do you think it really would put an end to the challenges, the problems in the southeast?
Yes, I believe. Personally, from my emotional side, I would not even want my enemy to be in detention. I'm sorry to say that. I'm sorry to say that because I know his wife. His wife was visiting. My wife was visiting. They were all crying together, and now I don't know what they are passing through. So some persons that will be outside hailing, do this, do that. By the time you have problem, you will not see them. Your family will be suffering alone.
Okay, let me go to Barrister.
If it's ready for the political solution, why not? Let us start that part of it.
Yeah, you said if he's ready. I mean, when you spoke to him, did he seem like someone who would explore that option at the time?
Yes.
Okay.
Then there is something, if things have changed, but then, yeah.
Okay. Barrister.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, my brother, you claim you spent 14 years in jail after your conviction. This means it was the APC government that granted you pardon.
Yes.
And restored you to effectiveness or normal life.
Yes, sir.
Would I be right to suggest you have joined APC to become a saint, especially hearing you soliciting for the APC president? Are you a member of APC now?
Can I comment?
Yes, please.
I'm not a member. I'm not a card-carrying member. My issue was beyond the political parties or partisan politics. It was a national matter, yeah. Not just the APC that helped me. People from the PDP also helped me. Even former President Goodluck Jonathan approved my freedom in a State of Council meeting. So it's not just President Buhari couldn't have done that without the approval of the State Council of State meeting. That meeting they held for the likes of Joshua Dare and this other governor that were pardoned. I was part of that group. So it was not just a APC arrangement. It was a national matter that they used national. It was national coloration, not a political coloration. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so you've established that. Okay.
I'm not a member of the APC or the PDP.
All right.
I'm just an activist. Yeah.
You're just an activist. Okay. I mean, going back, because what brought you into this predicament that you spent, 14 years, 35-year-old man going to prison, coming out as a 49-year-old man, was that
Yes.
October 1 bombing. I mean, when you heard the story, if you are able to speak with those who masterminded it, that's Henry and Charles Oka, do you feel like it was necessary, was something that they needed to do at the time, given the state that the country was in, the fact that Goodluck Jonathan was the president at the time, and then, the amnesty had been negotiated at that time, even before Jonathan came on board? Was this something that was necessary to have done at the time? Is there any way to understand the rationale? Maybe that's what I'm looking for the rationale behind such an act that got you into this predicament.
When you are in prison, when all of you are together, the emotional part plays a greater role. When we discuss, you understand,
Yes.
when you are in your low part of life. So that action was regretted. It was a regrettable, and it was not expected to be that way. Had it been this accusation that I heard about it prior to that time, I would have stopped it. I had the ability to stop it. I would have stopped it, but I never heard it. Unfortunately, I became a victim. That action was not called for. It was not called for, and maybe they were thinking it was a warning. People they gave a notice before it happened.
Yes.
So they were expecting. Maybe people never believe an action like that would take place. You understand? So It was not just as a terrorist attack, because they gave a warning prior to that time. Hey, don't come around so place, so thing will happen. But nobody believed it will happen. It was regretted, and it was uncalled for. That action was uncalled for. I worked for the amnesty. I worked for peace. I sensitized people under the sun. I sensitized people. So why will I be part and parcel of people that will try to disrupt what I worked for? No, it's not possible. The records are there. I worked for the amnesty.
Okay, you mentioned the issue of pipeline protection earlier, and I remember Tompolo, government Ekemopolo, getting the contract from the former president Muhammadu Buhari. But oil theft is still a major issue in Nigeria. Even though you said it has reduced, there have been all kinds of allegations regarding those behind it. I mean, oil theft is not something an ordinary Nigerian would go into, because you need to have your arsenal to be able to go into that kind of business or crime, as the case may be. So there have been allegations. Fingers have been pointed at the Nigerian Navy. Fingers have been pointed at different people, and we've seen the allegation and counter allegation as well. So as somebody who is familiar with the Niger Delta region, why do you think oil theft is still very much of a problem in Nigeria? And what do you make of some of these institutions or persons that have been accused of being behind this business?
You see, if you go to the creeks, you will see civilians, you will see boys hanging out, walking under Tantita. But you see, Tantita can only cover the kilometers they signed as a contract. They cannot cover other places. Many places are uncovered. So it is very possible that most places where oil theft is taking place, because I remember a particular clan in Biseni, the opposite of that clan, the neighborhood, was covered, is covered by a petroleum infrastructure company, a particular surveillance company. But the next clan, Biseni clan, is not covered. There was a leakage there, gas leakage. It affected. So by the time the indigenous met with the surveillance company, they said they were not covered. They are not part of their contract. So it is left for the government to have in additional fund, make them to cover all the places. Many places are not covered.
But what about
Tantita?
Yeah, go ahead.
They are giving more coverage. make additional funds available, more coverage. They will cover more places. Many places are not covered. People don't understand this contract. They think Tantita is covering every part of Niger Delta. No, most places are not covered. There are people that are into bunkering. They are doing bunkering in our creeks tomorrow because those places are not covered. You don't expect them to be there. That is it.
And there are those who have also raised question as to why would you have, a private security company doing all of this when you have the Nigerian Navy, and other institutions that should be protecting oil installations from vandals. That was the point that, there are institutions that have budgets to protect, to do these things. That's one. Number two, what do you make of some of these allegations that have been leveled against these high profile institutions and persons? Do you think, is there any substance in this allegation as to they are the ones being behind the business of oil theft? So those two questions.
Yeah, this we have been under the Navy Adjoint Military Task Force in Niger Delta, but we have been having problem of oil theft all this while.
Yes.
Ask yourself, why is it that every military man want to go to Niger Delta? Why? Because they are into business. So this is the evidence of it. When Chief Tompolo came to accuse them or say something about them, it is something we all know. It is common. They are into it. The Navy personnel, people cannot do these things without them coming in. They are all over the river. So they are sabotaging some of the actions of Tantita. That is why he came out to speak out. And that's the truth. So ask them, why are they always interested to go to Niger Delta to work? Why? So it's like you are going to an oil boom place.
You're also confirming the allegation that the military, according to you, has a hand in this. You're confirming the allegation.
Yes.
And I mean, what would you say to those who, because it looks like there's a clash of interest here. The government should have empowered the military more instead of putting the money into Tantita and using the boys in the creek. Maybe the Navy would have more coverage, as you said, to cover all of those places more and prevent the bunkering, as opposed to using a private security outfit.
Okay, you see, if you don't carry the boys along, people are jobless. The idle mind is devil's workshop. People are jobless. Engage them in what they know. This is our region. This is our place. It gives us sense of belonging to protect what belongs to us. In quotes, what is generated from our area. Why not involve them? Now, it is even difficult for the companies to involve everybody. But today, the people Tantita has employed, I told you, it's more than 50,000 youths. So many people are engaged.
Right.
So you cannot do that work without engaging them. It's not possible.
Right. Okay.
It's a good thing.
Comrade, we need to go on this commercial break. When we get back, we'll continue the conversation. If you're just joining us, it's the Podium on 32 FM 94.9. Our guest is Comrade Edmond Biware. He's a Niger Delta activist, and he was one of those people alleged to have been behind the October 2010 Independence Day bombing. He was convicted and sent to prison, life imprisonment, but he got out after 14 years. We'll continue the conversation after this break. To stay with us.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM 94.9, the antidote to depression.
Guys, let's go and get seats at that table with Semovita.
Sorry, this table is reserved for the bride's family.
Do you know who I am? I'm the older brother of the sister's last uncle who married their first cousin.
Everybody wants a seat at the Golden Penny Semovita table. Golden Penny Semovita remains my soup's first choice. It's made from premium wheat and fortified with vitamins and minerals to provide a wholesome bowl food that pairs well with Nigerian soups. Golden Penny Semovita, my soup's first choice.
We share love, we share joy, we come with open hearts. Oh, so celebrate, jubilate, share the plate, just follow the aroma. 'Tis the season to show some love.
teacher, abeg, wetin dey happen when my pikin dem come school? Why e be say dem go comot house very clean, when dem come back the difference no be here o.
Na because action no dey finish ma. All the book dem dey learn plus sports wey dem dey do dey burn energy. So that sweat stain, the uniform wey tear and dirty shoes show say your pikin dey very active.
Na wow!
Your pikin dem need nourishing energy make you give dem the new improved Milo for breakfast. E get correct nutrients wey dey support energy release to help dem use their day well. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! When you think of Rex Insurance, think of the excellence of cleaning the house to the satisfaction of a typical Nigerian mom.
Okay, you've washed the plates twice. Have you washed the sponge with soap?
Yes, mommy.
Think of the teamwork in managing your mom and mother-in-law for Omugo.
Honey, Mama and your mommy have gone to the market together. How did you do it?
At Rex Insurance, our values of resilience, efficiency, excellence, integrity, and teamwork have remained unwavering since 1918. No matter your business, agriculture, aviation, engineering, general accident, energy, motor or marine, our values and prompt claims payment are your assurance of our commitment to you. Rex Insurance, you are not alone.
Ho, ho, ho!
Yes, it's the Laughter Santa season! And that means
fun, games, we love Laughter Santa!
Children, parents, let's get on the ride with 32FM's Laughter Santa in partnership with Ride Ross Amusement Parks. Venue, Games Area, Palms Mall Ring Road, Ibadan. Time, Mondays through Saturdays, 10 a.m. Sundays, 12 noon. Date, December 1st to 24th, 2024. Price, 4,000 naira per child. And with this, your child enjoys free rides, gifts, and lots more. For sponsorship and inquiries, and if your school, community, and church would like to be part of this, call Auntie Sumbo on 0704-017-4981 or Bolanle on 0810-067-2518. As you already know, with 32FM's Laughter Santa, there's always more. Tune into the Laughter Santa show on air every weekday, 4:15 to 5 p.m. and on weekends, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Special shout out to all our sponsors who have made this possible. To Sackvin, Bentos Pharmaceuticals, Right Foods, Aspira, Glory Prints, Techno Mobile, Fauzi Hotel and Events Company, Kellogg's, we say thank you. It promises to be fun.
I'm in love, Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Easy to open, easy to squeeze, easy to scoop and easy to stir.
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
Are you ready?
It's Laughterfest 2024. December 26th, Racecourse, Adamasingba, Ibadan. Brace yourselves for electrifying performances from Fuji Maestro, Obesere, the sensational, fabulous Pizzy, Pelumi MP3 Live Band, and Hype Man bringing the vibe. Comedy Royalty, Wuliagba, Remote, MC Obama, MC Package, MC Peril, and MC Gap Teeth will leave you in stitches. Laughterfest 2024 is sponsored by Pernod Ricard, Zenith Real Estate, and supported by Boblage Ever Roofing Sheets. And guess what? Tickets are free. Yes, absolutely free. So bring your family and your friends and your holiday spirit, because this is the celebration you've been waiting for. Follow at 32FM949 on Facebook and Instagram, or tune in to 32FM 94.9 for more updates. Laughterfest 2024. Music, laughter, and pure holiday magic. Be there.
Èkúté ilé kì í gbénu omi, lẹ́gbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀ kì í gbórí yanrìn. Kó wá lélédùn àti ṣẹ̀dá ilé fún látọ̀run. Òkùnkàdáyé ká ṣiṣẹ́ tọ́, ká kọ́lé, ká káàsẹ̀, ká nílé èrè lórí. Ìdí nìyí tí iléeṣẹ́ Soft Properties tó ń ra dúkìá ta dúkìá fi ní kẹ́ ẹ máa bọ̀ kájọ dókòwò. Lọ́wọ́ yìí, a ní àwọn ilé ńláńlá láwọn agbègbè tó ṣe é rí nílùú Ìbàdàn bíi Àpáta, Ìyágànkú, Akala Express, Ọ̀jọ́, Àkóbọ̀, Akígbilé, agbègbè Muslim àti àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ agbègbè mìíràn nílẹ̀ yìí. Gbogbo dúkìá tó ń bẹ lákàtà wa nìwé wọn pé pérépéré. Bí ẹ bá tún wá ní dúkìá tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ tà, ẹ kàn sọ lójú òpó ayélujára wa www.softsandsproperty.com láti rà nínú èyí tó wà nílẹ̀ àbí kí ẹ tún gbé tiyín náà wá fún títà tàbí kí ẹ pò sórí 09166 09116150000. Ojú òpó WhatsApp wa ní 09115550055. Àṣeyọrí àti orúkọ rere tí 32 FM ní ló jẹ́ kí iléeṣẹ́ Soft Sand ó darapọ̀ mọ́ wọn. Soft Sand Properties, òrùlé fún tẹrù tọmọ. Lecture Productions presents Very Live in Concert. This year's birthday has promised to be a very loud one. Gbagbagbagbugbugbu àlùjọ tó ń gbé ní Trabaye. Very Live in Concert. This birthday special edition is not going to be a play as usual as Lecture Productions present Boxing Day Carnival. Very Live in Concert. Gbọ̀ngàn 21 yóò gbàlejò àwọn ìràwọ̀ olórin lọ́jọ́ kejì kérésì 26th of December 2024. Níbi tí onírúurú lyrics àti máa gorí gángan tí wáyà gìtá dẹ̀ máa rògbò lẹ̀pọ̀ pẹ̀lú keyboard lọ́wọ́ àwọn máa fi lùlù gbà. Gbogbo alọ́fíà àtàwọn tó mọ yí pọ̀pọ̀ sí ṣe fàájì ọdún ni kò ní fẹ́ gbẹ̀yìn níbẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ yẹn o. Our guest artists include but are not limited to Praise 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐿, Babatumise, The Tronics Band, Fabulous Pizzy, The Young Melody, Dare Harmony, Governor General Kule Pleasant, Dúpẹ́ Aláyọ̀, Pastor Káyọ̀dé Oyèwọlé, 𝐂𝐈𝐒, Buoyant, Talking Hand, Ade Pretty and many more. Mouthpiece and Dima Chukwu are going to be on the podium to determine the direction of the concert. Agogo mẹ́ta ọ̀sán di ago mẹ́wàá àṣálẹ́ ni àríyá fi máa ṣàn nínú gbọ̀ngàn 21. Eléyìí tó wà ní Ring Road nígboro ìlú Ìbàdàn. Jùjú ti wọnú orí ṣèwọ́ṣẹ̀wọ́. Very much fully activated.
Ticket is absolutely free. Ọ̀fẹ́ lówó wọlé bá dé.
Ó yá dáṣẹ́ yẹn padà.
We fill the world with laughter. We are 32 FM 94.9.
Welcome back. It's the Podium on 32 FM 94.9. If you're just joining us, I guess this morning is Comrade 𝐿 Biware. He's a Niger Delta activist. He spent 14 years in prison after being convicted as one of the alleged masterminds of the Independence Day, October 1, 2010 bombing in Abuja. He's been speaking to us about his experience in the correctional system and also the issues in the Niger Delta, from crude theft to the presidential amnesty program and issues relating to the NDDC. Let me quickly go to Prof now. Prof? Hello, Prof.
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Now, in the recent tax bill, there's a return to the question of derivation. And surprisingly, this current government is talking about this 60%. Yet all these decades, when derivation is mentioned, first it was less than 10. Now, since 1999, it was raised to 13%.
Yeah.
So, which means those who are in charge of Nigeria think that they will cut a big pie when they are in power. Otherwise, if 60% was a realistic option, why has it not been proposed to the Niger Delta? I am thinking that it seems that because the Niger Delta is made up of mostly minority, that's why they've had a very raw deal with the Nigerian state. Is there any chance that this talk about 60% proposed by the tax bill is something that the Niger Delta can put on the table once again to let Nigerians know that what is good for the goose must also be good for the gander? Or what's your opinion about the tax bill in general and the derivation principle being introduced in particular in the tax reform bills?
Yes. Can I comment?
Yes, please. Go ahead, Edmond. Comment, Edmond. Yes.
You see, it would be a good thing if this proposal is accepted and approved, passing through the due process. Because in Niger Delta, what we are even thinking, this 13% derivation, is not what we have in mind. And by the time this proposal is given a positive response, it will help the Niger Delta also. It will help. Because the influx of people coming to Niger Delta is so much. Just because some people see the Niger Delta as somewhere they can do business, things are happening, there's money. But if this proposal is accepted, I think wealth will spread everywhere. So we are.
Is this something that Niger Delta can also pursue? Because if there's 60% derivation in how oil revenue is shared, to the oil producing states. 60% is shared on VAT tax revenue. That's what the proposal is all about in the tax bill. Will the Niger Delta also be pursuing a sort of renegotiation, because it took a while to get to this 13% that was agreed upon? In fact, it was even Buhari, former President Muhammadu Buhari, that paid the backlog of 13%, as former Governor YUSUF admitted, in Rivers State back then. So will the Niger Delta be going back to the table to ask for more? Because this means more money from VAT for states. Would Niger Delta also be asking for more in terms of oil revenue, raising it from 13%? Because if the government can share 60%, why can't they share 13%, more than 13% to the oil producing states?
Of course. See, the Niger Delta is a very it's a region that need to be. The government should be deliberate about the region, the needs of the region, for peace to reign, to sustain this peace is very important. Simply because we don't have too many, we don't have enough people at the National Assembly because of our size, doesn't mean they will not take things serious about us. We will ask for more, and the government should be ready. And they should agree with what we have asked.
Yes, you say you don't have too many people in the National Assembly. I mean, you have 𝐷𝐶𝐈𝐒 Akpabio is the Senate President from the Niger Delta. He was heading the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, at some point. I mean, the Senate President is number what now in the country? So that's a key man from the Niger Delta representing your interest, in the National Assembly.
Yes.
And you also have three senators, yes.
We have senators, but how many senators do we have from the north?
It's 3 from each state. That's where the Senate is arranged. 3 from each state.
Yes, by the time I understand, by the time they join together as a region, they are more than us. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So because people should just support anything that has to do with Niger Delta, because it is going to be a collective gain to the nation, to everybody.
And then there's the concern that, governors of states in the Niger Delta are not being held accountable as they should. I mean, it took Governor YUSUF to admit that, yes, the 13% backlog had been paid. We didn't even hear anything or see a commensurate project for some of the other governors in that region. And this, high allocation that they get, all kinds of, funding that the various agencies in charge of the Niger Delta get. People say we're not seeing the commensurate level of development, in that region. So should we hold the governors accountable more? Because we've been putting the blame on the federal government. What about the state governors? What have they been doing with the funds they've been getting? What did they do, for example, with the 13% derivation that the former President Muhammadu Buhari cleared, at the time?
Yes, we will hold them accountable. The time is coming. The awareness is coming. Actually, we've not had the best of leaders in Niger Delta. The best of governors we've not had. Honestly speaking, that's just the truth. Practical government, a governor that is pragmatic, that will put things on ground, we've not had.
Since 1999, for instance, you've not had any governor that can stand out.
We've not that one or two, but generally speaking, majority of them disappointed us. So we hold them accountable. And when we are talking about the next dispensation, by the time we want to, political, want to vote, want to another contest, another election, people will start looking for those people that really have the struggle in their hearts. Most of them are opportunists, honestly speaking, because they were handpicked.
Handpicked by who?
They were handpicked by their predecessors. Yes, they were handpicked by their predecessors. I don't belong to any political party. That's just the truth. Somebody should come and succeed me. This person will cover my dirty deals. That's what we are passing through in Niger Delta. That's why it's difficult for us to have a good leadership.
Let me go to Barrister. Barrister?
Yes, thank you very much. Now, Edmond, I want to bring you in on something I read in the papers, that the president proposed a coastal guard to protect our assets on the territorial sea and on our exclusive economic zone, which covers 200 nautical miles to the high seas. For instance, we hear Norwegians are fishing our waters, there is bunkering, there is oil theft, and so on. As a matter of fact, it was reported sometime that a foreign submarine was in our waters during reconnaissance to ascertain strategic features. Why would anyone oppose the establishment of a coastal guard? I want you to weigh in on this.
The establishment of a coastal guard is a welcome development. You know why? Because we'll be carried along. It's our place. The first security guard to your house is you. So if we are involved in the system, we should be part of that coastal guard. It will help the security of our coastal line. It will help because along the line, we have people that are living there. People are there along the line of our coast. Involve them. If they are there, they are involved, they are engaged, they are employed. They will take care of it's like a vigilante, a local vigilante also. It will help us. They will work in collaboration with the Nigerian Navy. We need it. And I think it's a welcome development.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, let me go back to the issue of oil theft that you mentioned earlier. These allegations have been coming up. You also confirmed it against the military as well. What action do you expect from the government? Have you seen the political will, from the government to actually nip this in the bud? Because it looks like the Tantita is not enough to tackle the problem. So, do you see the political will? What action do you expect from the government to address this problem, especially in the light of the allegations against key institutions and key persons in the country?
Well, let me tell you something. If there's an increment of funds for the Tantita, they will engage more people. We are going to handle it. It will be handled by Niger Deltas themselves. I'm telling you, the best soldiers, the best security guards are our people. It's our coast. The creek belongs to us. We know the nooks and crannies of the creeks. Those people that are into the bunkering, most of them are part of us. We know them. And by the time they increase funding, they will cover many kilometers. And it will help us. What they are doing is just the one they have, the one they sign. Increase funding. It will cover nearly everywhere in Niger Delta. They will see the difference. It will be clear. That's my advice for the government.
All right. What about the issue of investigating those allegations against, because these are weighty allegations against the key institutions? Do you expect action from the government in that regard?
Which of the particular
the allegation against the military? Yes, that Tompolo mentioned. That you also mentioned as well.
The allegation is clear. It is high time the government sits these military institutions. They should come round table, and also those surveillance companies will come round table with them. They will work in collaboration. That's the best way to handle it. That's the best way to handle it. It is an allegation. Come and defend yourself. This is something that is visible. If you are in Niger Delta, you will know this is not just a mere allegation. Because people are not speaking out. The man in question, the High Chief Tompolo, he spoke out fearlessly. He spoke out, and it is a welcome development. I think they will sit up. The government should call them. Let them have a roundtable meeting to map out a way out. They must work in collaboration.
All right. Let me go to Prof. as we're wrapping up gradually with our guest. Prof. Hello, Prof.
Yes.
Yes. As we're wrapping up gradually.
Thank you very much for the comments made so far. We have talked about the oil theft. We have also talked about derivation. Now, those militants or the amnesty program, you have also praised it as something very successful. Do you think that that program should be a permanent feature of the Nigerian system, or is getting to a point where we can now round off the amnesty program and, in fact, think about alternative? Because, as you know, the current president has reorganized things. He's now talking about regional development commissions, and it seems that the Niger Delta Commission and other commissions are now supposed to be assumed into these bodies. So we have commission for South-South, commission for Southwest, commission for Southeast, just commissions for every geopolitical zone. So do you think that it's actually the next phase marking the end or the need for the kind of intervention or special intervention that has been going on in the Niger Delta?
The rehabilitation of militants, it takes time. You understand, but it will not last forever. These stipends and all the rest will not last forever. If you take somebody to school and when a person graduate from the school, the person will need a job, to get engaged. We don't want people to take advantage of our vulnerability, because we are vulnerable in our area. People that understand what is happening in our area, they can easily go back to what we have stopped. That's militancy. So it is not something they can just put a stop to it because of this regional establishment of regional whatsoever. No, not now.
Okay, so should it continue for how long? Because at some point, some people say we have to rethink the strategy of paying people stipend. And now that each region, as Prof said, will have its own commission: Southwest Development Commission, Southeast Development Commission, South-South Development Commission. The commission will now be responsible for addressing the issues in those regions. So is that going to be enough to address the issues in the Niger Delta? Because, the South-South itself is a Niger Delta. Maybe apart from Ondo, that is an oil-producing state outside of the South-South that's in the Southwest. So, is that going to be enough? Is there going to be a time that we have to rethink this strategy of paying monthly stipend?
Yeah, it will take some few years, because this commission need to be on ground first, and let us see how it is. It is more than just saying there's a commission. Let us see their working, how they are going to work, their ability. So it will take some time. It's not something we just stop at once.
All right, 0705 5000 949, 0829 7000 949 on Facebook, through to FM 949 Fenya. If you have any question, we can take your comments very quickly. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Benga Mario calling from Apata.
Go ahead.
I want to sincerely appreciate our guests, and I pray that the good Lord will be with you in Jesus' name. Now, the question I have for you is that, the acts of what you pass through when you are in the creek, and at the end of the day, people will come out. They will be given a state pardon of presidential pardon. And in the forest, when they are in the creek, they would have burned so many government facilities, destroyed so many facilities owned by the government and the people of that particular state. And in the forest, killing and maiming some innocent Nigerians. Then at the end of the day, they will be given state pardon or presidential pardon. Then what will be the fate of those who have lost their loved ones? What will be the fate of those who have lost their property in the process? And some of the government forests that are being destroyed, who is going to police? That thing it will encourage some other people to do what to follow it, because it will be like by the today that were in the first instance. At the end of the day, they are being given their amnesty, and as a matter of fact, some of them are being they are on payroll government on a monthly basis. So what do you have to say to this? Because it will encourage more people to go to the street and start commit more crime. And lastly, I learned that Tompolo, that he has become a billionaire through watching over the facilities in that part of the Niger Delta. And my question is that the money that people is making is reflecting in the lives of these people that are staying in that particular area. I want to know, because if people is making billions of naira from there, of course, it will show each more in the life of those that are living in that particular part of the country. So I would like to know what people is doing to benefit the loss of the people in the Niger Delta.
Right. Thank you. Comrade Edmond, did you get the question?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Go ahead. Address the question, please.
Yeah, you see, that aspect of victims of some of the actions those days.
Yes.
You see, I told you something when I started. I said we are against installations to draw attention from the government and the international community. But you see, harming human beings was not part of the deal. So that everywhere there's criminality. So some criminals came into, took advantage of it. So those criminals, on our own, there were some people that were sent to their own, to their creators. On our own, those people that were pirates. We fought against piracy in Niger Delta during the struggle. What even the government couldn't do, we fought against piracy. So, and it worked. So if somebody will not come up to say we killed somebody made their deaths in the hands of Niger Delta activists, agitators those days, no. We never worked that way. We never harmed human beings. We disabled the installations in our places to draw the attention of the government and international community. That was what.
Okay.
That was our line of action.
Right. Well, what about the second question about Tumpolo becoming a billionaire? According to him, as a result of this security contract, that how is it translated to helping people in the region? That you're just enriching, individuals by virtue of this contract.
Okay. See one thing: we have stakeholders that were engaged. Today we are talking about an increment of the oil output. It is because of all these engagements. And if we talk about Tumpolo being a billionaire, Tumpolo has not been a poor man. He has not been a poor man any day. You understand? He is the only person in Niger Delta, let me say, even I am inclusive with all governors, the only person in Niger Delta that has employed more than 50 persons, engaged them, youths working under Kantita. It has not been so. And let me tell you something. Many youths that are into drugs, drug addicts have been rehabilitated by him. Many people are going to, they have taken many of them to different psychiatric hospitals, rehabilitating them. Health services everywhere happening under the Kantita. It's not just surveillance alone. So many things. They are into so many things. Rehabilitating the youths, taking them out of drugs, making them to become somebody. Also empowering women, different NGOs. These are things that are working. These are things that are also helping to secure our pipelines, to increase our output. You must engage people. Hospitals were built. Schools were rehabilitated. These are things that the Kantita security network has been involved in. But people don't know because they are not into campaigning for themselves. I'm an activist. I'm not part of Kantita, let me tell you. But we are just saying what has never happened in Niger Delta before. Even our governors never did these things I'm talking about. So talking about Tumpolo being a billionaire, he has not been a poor man anytime.
Okay.
From beginning.
Let me go to Barrister. Barrister?
Yes, thank you very much. I know that we're just about rounding up.
Yes.
Edmond, there is something we do here which has become a custom. We try to make our guests laugh. To us, is a therapy for the times. And so I want to make you laugh too. Although you go pay me money for them later. So, it is this one. After 14 years in jail and a lot of fastings, how does it feel to be back in the warm embrace of Madame?
I beg. This one I beg. Make I speak pidgin English.
Okay, now.
Make I tell you. The wife where I been get when I enter jail, he divorced me when they jail me life sentence. So she come jail, come divorce me the next month.
Wow.
The wife who I get today, we can stand for me for the next 12 years. Now another woman we can stand when they see me for court. She dey feel for me. She can't come with Bible, come meet me for prison. Now me I can't propose her at once. Now she can't walk out for freedom. She come for me Boland, but the one will leave me now my just sister. Oh, that's how their life happen. Oh, finally I come. I can't find way. Can't go pay something for their place for NBC Imo State. Now I'm married now. So. That's how the thing happen.
so you dey enjoy the thing now.
They enjoy it by the grace of God. Freedom, freedom. Make nobody play with the freedom.
I thank God for your life. Oh. This will not be small thing at all.
Oh wow. I think one of the takeaways, here is what you said about freedom is sweet. Enjoy your freedom and do what you can to stay away from crime, because the correctional system, the judiciary has different challenges, and you might not be the same person that will come out after those number of years. So I guess you were, fortunate to still have yourself intact, and still be like this after 14 years. Or maybe because
information they deform you. You are deformed. Information.
Let's see if we can squeeze in one call. Hello.
Hello, my brother.
Good morning, sir.
I thank all my name is Baba Sunuddin Samiu.
Yes.
My barista, how are you, sir? And the guest analyst.
Thank you very much.
I'm happy to hear, your life story. It's not an easy thing to go to that place and come back. At least you are guests at various prison yards. If I like the question Dr. Barista has you, and you are able to explain, that is life. That is woman's life. I wish you more blessing. Thank you. I appreciate you. I listen to every question and every answer. OLORUNTOBA.
Yes,
This
sir.
is the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Good anchor man.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I mean, there are those who say that the correctional system the word is just the name. Because by the time you were there, it was still the prison service. It was recently that they renamed it correctional service. So they say the correctional itself is just a name, that there is nothing correctional about the system. And from your story, it looks like it's the same.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much, Comrade Edmond Biwari, for joining us on the podium. It's been a pleasure to have you. Prof, your final thoughts to our guest?
Yeah, I think it's been a roller coaster life for him, and we thank God that things are stabilized and there's a direction and purpose for his life. I think that he still has a role to play in Nigeria because there are very few people with such experiences. And his experience, apparently, from the way he has spoken, tells a lot about his exposure and his understanding of the Nigerian system. But even more importantly, his understanding of the Niger Delta challenge. And I hope that he will continue to make his own contribution. And more importantly, that the government and all those who are interested in promoting development in Niger Delta will seize upon the opportunity of his presence, to develop new initiatives for that purpose. So they should always call on him. I thank him for his steadfastness and wish him and his family happy Christmas in advance.
Right. Thank you, Prof. Barrister, your final thoughts to our guest?
Oh, yes. Edmond, I wish you all the best. I am really impressed with what you have done for us this morning. Opening up so many issues, Nigerian issues, for proper understanding of Nigerians. I also wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance.
Yeah, thank you so much, Barrister. Thank you, Comrade Edmond Biwari, for being a part of the podium. It's been very interesting having you on the conversation, opening up different issues about the judiciary, correctional system, and the issues in the Niger Delta. Thank you very much, Barrister. Thank you, Prof. My name is OLORUNTOBA YUSUF. Special thanks to my guest, my producer, 𝐷𝐿. Do enjoy the rest of your Saturday morning. We'll be back again next Saturday on the podium. Bye for now.
Bye.